guys, it's Vampire Mike from Sega CD Universe, and I'm filming this a little different, so I have like the tripod wedged on the couch and the lights behind it, so it looks a little better in terms of being able to see me, but I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, because I look half asleep and my eyes are all washed out and there's fucking bags under them. So anyhow, this is another video response to my good friend ProBMan5, aka Brad. He asks these questions, and then when you give your answers, he refers to them as factoids. Like if you were to say, The Matrix is the best cyberpunk movie ever, factoid, you know. Now that may not be true, it may be true, but you think it, so it's a fact, so it's a factoid, like it's a joke. So he's got 3 more questions for me, and again, if you'd like to chime in, leave a comment, or a video response, feel free to do so. The first question out of the 3 is, a time you or someone you know talked back to an authority figure. So I was trying to think of like bigger scale things, like police and stuff, and I really don't recall anything like that. I've only gotten pulled over a few times in life and never gotten any trouble or anything. But when I was in, I think it was like 6th grade, I went to this new school. Everyone, you know, goes from, what was it, elementary to middle, and I was living in Florida. And we had this substitute teacher, and we were really giving her, I think it was her, a hard time. We were breaking chops and talking and like weren't really paying attention, and she was getting frustrated. So she called the principal in, and the principal comes down, and it was this older black woman, and she was pretty nice, the lady, and she's like, you know, this is ridiculous. We have a substitute teacher here for 1 day, and this is how you treat her, and you have to give Mrs. So-and-so a little respect. So why I did this, I don't know. I stood up and I started singing R-E-S-P-E-C-T by Aretha Franklin. Well, this woman did not find it funny. So she drags me off to her office, calls my mother at work, and tells her. And my mother starts laughing. So my mother's like laughing but trying to hold it in, so like you can't hear her really laughing, but later on she told me it was hysterical. So I got just sent back to the school or whatever, and I didn't get suspended or in trouble or anything like that. But my mom told her friends in the office, and they were all laughing. And I mean, like, you know, it was disrespectful, it was stupid, but it wasn't like I did something bad, you know. So either way, that was pretty funny and amusing. Question number 2: a time when you or someone you know made a bad first impression. I'm gonna name 2 people. I'm not gonna give their names, but I don't even remember one of their names. I have this friend I don't speak to any longer, I had a falling out with, and he had a friend who worked with him at a store. I think it was like a Blockbuster or something. And he's like, oh, come over to my friend Mike's house. And he asked me if it's okay, and I say yeah, and he brings him over. And the guy comes in, and we're talking, and he's very kind, you know. Hey, how are you? Nice to meet you. And then he starts snooping around. So like next to my TV I have all my consoles, and then under the TV is like a box with like a wicker box with like controllers, and the next wicker box is like cords, like things I would need like to hook the consoles up, whatever. And he starts picking things up and like looking at them, pulling things out, and my friend could see I'm getting annoyed, and he turns around and looks at the guy and he goes, like, don't do that. Because if you know someone forever and they're going through your shit, and like, oh, what is this? You got a new game or whatever? I don't give a fuck. I tell all my friends, go in the fridge, take what you want, stop asking me, bitch. But for some guy that I just met literally like a minute ago, and you're like standing around pulling DVDs out and like going, it's just way too forward for me. So he was a nice guy, but that was a kind of bad first impression, or at least I thought he was slightly immature and didn't understand. The other thing was another friend of a friend, Brian. My friend Brian, the one who has been on videos with me before, and he gave me those games recently, the Resident Evil 6 and the Alien Colonial Marines on the 360. He brings his friend over from work, who has now since moved to another state, thank God, because I really wouldn't even want him near me. He comes over with him because the guy's having girlfriend problems, and he's like, do you mind if, you know, I know you're having a few people over tonight to, I don't know, play a board game or whatever the hell we were doing, you know, because that's what cool 30-year-olds do on like a Friday night. Would you mind if I bring him? Sure. So he comes right away. He's just forward and rude, and I don't like him. And I'm like, all right, let me give him the benefit of the doubt. He's in a bad mood. You know, his girlfriend and him are having issues. He sits down, and there's something that always irks me right away. Like, I go from like normal to very angry, and I'm not sure why. So I never act on it because I find it to be a stupid thing to get angry about. Uh-oh. And she's part of the thing I'm talking about. So, what's up, Stella? You want to come on video? Anytime anyone makes reference to a cat being a pussy, but they're saying it as a, what is it, double entendre, double entendre, however it's pronounced, it annoys me. I don't know why. Not because I think vaginas are bad or cats are bad. Okay, Stella, here we go. Come here. I know, this is about you. But it's almost like an insult. Like, I feel like when someone says, and I don't mean the people on YouTube, because I know some of you have said this to me before and I joke back with you, and I don't mean you, but, you know, when you hear someone's tone of voice, and it's like, nice pussy, or that's a lazy pussy, like they say something stupid that could be taken as sexual, but they throw the cat in there, I don't know why, it gets me mad. I feel like they're being disrespectful to Stella, even though I know they're just being goofy because they're using, you know, the double word, but no one in real life really calls cats pussies. Let's be honest. And if you're doing it to like make a joke, this has been probably said for a million years. So again, people on YouTube joke around me and say things like that, and I don't care. But then there's people in person who like act rude and say shit like that. So right away he fucking pissed me off. And I'm not sure why that pisses me off, but it does. So I jumped up mentally and I'm like, alright, gotta calm down. I'm not gonna get in an argument with the guy who will call my cat a pussy. So I dropped down. Because I know that could be just a mental defect on my part. So then a few minutes later, you know, we have about 5, maybe 6 people. I know. We have about 5, maybe 6 people over. And my friend Stephanie's here with her, I almost said husband, boyfriend Mike. Oh, please don't knock the camera over. Thank you for the kisses. Thank you, I know. So they're sitting here and he's being this guy who I don't like is being very forward with her. Like, oh please, you don't know, blah, blah, blah. You think I know this. And he's being like pompous and rude to her, like she's stupid, she doesn't get the board game we're playing, he gets it. But he's being very rude and nasty about it. I was this close to just be like, dude, you gotta get the fuck out before you and I have a problem, because what is your deal? Why are you in my house disrespecting my friends and being like nasty and forward with them? Okay, alright. Stella wants to be on camera really bad. Again. Say hi, get it out of your system. Say something. You look thrilled. So, I hate that shit. It's like, don't be disrespectful in my house to me or to people in my house. You don't know us. It's my house, don't disrespect it. And you just met her. And you're being a dick over a board game. So the whole thing was just annoying. I really disliked the guy. I told my friend Brian, I said, listen, no offense, man, don't bring him back. And he's like, you know, I kind of realized he was a dick too. He goes, you know, in the past few days at work, I don't like his attitude, this and that. So he didn't really like the guy much either. He just kind of like felt bad for him, I guess. So those are the 2 bad first impressions I could think of. And then finally the last question, since I went on a tangent there for 5 minutes. The creepiest person you have ever worked or done business with. So, I'm not going to name names, but when I worked at GameStop, I worked with 2 guys. One's skinny and one's fat. That's that, okay? The skinny one was cheating on his wife with an employee. Also, any young girls that would come in the store that we got to know through people, or maybe they were friends of friends, or whatever, because a lot of, you know, I was like 18 to 21 at the time, so we were younger, or youngish. He would hit on them and say things to them like, oh, I'd like to do this with you, and he'd make it dirty. And he said something to a couple of them sometimes that like really creeped them out. And he was always looking for just people to have sex with. He didn't give a fuck. And he was just a dirtbag. And there was one time I was dating a girl, and she came into work, and he didn't realize I was dating her. And he thought we were just friends, and he started saying something to her. And I had to like pull him in the back room, and I got really shitty with him, and he like walked back out like in a stammer. And my friend's like, he looked like he saw a ghost. He like went completely pale. What did you say to him? And I guess I got my point across. So it's people, you know, like that who cheat on their spouses and who act that way with, you know, what's up, Belle? Young people. That's just fucked up to me. I don't know if I can get you in here, Stella. So, there was that guy. Then there's the fat guy I worked with. This guy's problems was tenfold. He smelled like shit. And I don't mean like, oh, he smelled like B.O. No, he smelled like shit. He smelled like one of those very, very, very heavy set people that couldn't clean themselves well or should have cleaned themselves more often. And I'm not being rude to heavy people. I love heavy people, okay? I love all types of people. I don't give a fuck what you look like. So, he just stunk. You'd go behind him and you would just get this hot, sweaty smell of shit. So like he didn't wipe his ass well. It was horrific. And he'd wear sandals, and he'd have long, long toenails. It was disgusting. The thing that was creepy about him was... Please don't knock that down. Okay, thank you, sweetie. He was also cheating with a girl from the office, or from the GameStop, and he was supposedly going to let like the seasonal people go, but he let her stay because supposedly they slept together in the back room or did something sexual, and that was like the, well, if you do this with me, I'll let you stay. And like he was always very creepy and weird. And then I found out later, him, his fiance at the time, who I think they broke up, and this other heavyset guy who worked at another GameStop, who was nice but homosexual. Not that I'm not saying a negative thing. He was gay. This guy was straight. They all slept together. The gay guy, the straight guy, and the fiance had a threesome. And again, what you're doing in your own bedroom is your business. I don't really care. But this guy was so creepy and weird that it kind of just like rubbed me wrong. Plus, that's not, you know, me. So like when I hear that like that, my opinion kind of like changes a bit on people. But he was a creepy motherfucker, man. He would say things and do things, and he just looked sloppy. He would wear like these dirty, wrinkled shirts and like jeans with just ripped up at the bottom with like sandals and long toenails, and he was just dirty and he smelled. He was just these two guys were just creepy motherfuckers, man. I don't know what it is. Like, I guess when you're involved with retail and you're dealing with people, you see like that side of them come out. I don't know. So those are the factoids I have for you today. I apologize if I went off on some tangents there, but hopefully you enjoyed it. So, thanks guys for watching. It's Vampire Mike from Sega CD Universe, and let me get Stella on camera, because she really wants to talk. Stella, say something to the worlds. Now, if I stop petting her, she'll probably yell. Okay. She says goodbye, and she says, Sega.